Hello, boys. Welcome back to the Footcast. My name is Jaybur. I'm here with Nathan and the head of the Mason Mount fan club, Chris. I nearly said Mason Greenwood, then that would have been so dodgy. But
Oh my god. And that's one of our topics of conversation today, ladies and gentlemen. So please stay tuned.
Spoiler.
So yeah,
Spoiler.
it's been a big week in football this week and at the end of last week. But first, the burning question is, what's going to happen to Man City? Because they've allegedly broken 100 breaches of the financial fair play legislation?
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, they've done some. They were doing dodgy sponsorship deals as well on shirts and that as well, and not explaining players' wages and that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, it's a bit dodgy at the moment for Man City. So, what do you think?
Couldn't have happened to a better team.
What do you think should happen to them, Chris? I think I know.
Relegated to the... Well, bear in mind, you had something similar happen to, was it Rangers, Juventus? Send them down to League Two.
Well, Juventus was due to
match fixing.
Yeah.
But you have teams like Derby and other teams, Wigan and a bunch of those who got relegated because of financial issues, because they couldn't afford to pay the bills.
Yeah.
City have been basically frauding the FA for years. And you have teams like Bury go out of existence, but City are still allowed to play in the top flight with their top players.
Well, they say it's been since 2008, something like that.
Since the takeover, since their takeover.
Now,
so you know what that means?
What?
21 isn't coming. 24 is coming, because we should get our titles that we deserve.
Well, we'll see what happens there. I don't think they'll award. We'll see what happens. I personally don't think they'll award anything. They won't strip them of their titles.
Well, they should.
I think Juve's one was down to match fixing, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
True, but think about it this way. If City didn't do what they did, think about the teams that could have actually won a game, or the thing in the game, City have won by a goal, a point, due to those fixes.
I agree, but
I mean, even Chelsea could have a league title. I'm not saying that in a rude way. I just mean literally.
I'm going to take that, Nathan.
At the end of the day, with the Man City takeover, it all kind of... I remember when the takeover happened, because Robinho wanted to come to Chelsea, and then obviously Man City got taken over, then signed Robinho all in one day. So this takeover kind of came out of nowhere. There was no like when Todd Bowley obviously took over Chelsea, he had to do a Premier League test, an owners test. It had to get approved by the UK government. I know it was obviously a different scenario because Chelsea was sanctioned because of Roman Abramovich, and there's a war going on in Ukraine still as we speak. So that's a scenario where Man City didn't have a Russian owner. But obviously the Robinho money, there's rumours coming out that they couldn't actually afford it from the club. They had to pump their own money in and stuff, and obviously it did come out of nowhere, but it will, for me, Man City now, they're playing on Sunday, aren't they, against Villa at home. Obviously, Man City, when I'm not trying to compare two different scenarios here, but Chelsea was sanctioned by the government, obviously, at the start, and obviously Chelsea just carried on playing their football, ignoring it. That's the only thing you can do. The best reaction is no reaction. So for Man City, they just have to ignore it, go and play their football on Sunday and just see how it goes. Do I think Man City will suffer a lot? No. I think the worst that will happen is that they'll have 2 transfer bans and a hefty fine. That's personally the outcome, because they were banned from the Champions League a couple of seasons ago, appealed that, won that. They'll just pay their fine and probably suffer 2 transfer window bans like Chelsea did when they couldn't buy players for two windows. That's what I think the outcome will be. I don't think they'll be stripped of their titles. I don't think they'll get relegated. I do think that people want it to happen, because it's happened to other clubs around the country and around the world. So they do want it to happen. but I don't think it will. I think it'll just be a transfer ban and a heavy fine.
I think they will get a points deduction this season. I think it'll be like a 12-point deduction. A hefty.
Should be a 50 points.
Well, if they get this deduction, it opens the Premier League race right open. You've got Arsenal that are likely to drop points. They still got to play Man City twice. If Man City get hit with a 12-point deduction, they're not going to be out of the race per se, but they're going to have to do a lot to get back up and win it. Because it might be a three-way battle between Man United, Arsenal, and Newcastle.
I think Newcastle will start fizzling out, to be honest. I personally don't. I think they could still finish top four, but I think they're drawing too many games right now.
I mean,
and drawing games is not good because you need to win, not draw, because it just draws get you nowhere. You've lost 2 points a game.
So don't Palace know about that lately? We've got a Man City fan in the chat, Alex. He says, a Man City fan, I think we could have a possible relegation since they have evidence. I don't know. If they relegate Man City, they have to relegate them down to non-league football. That would be an absolute disaster for City. And they'd end up losing...
Fucking hilarious.
They'd end up losing their best players, right? But they've got...
Good.
I reckon a few might stay, like not the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, the low level guys that have been there for a while will probably stay.
To be honest, I think it will test the players' loyalty in football, because I think if anything did happen, if this is obviously big, and they went down to like League 2 or non-league, it will test players' loyalty, because it's just proved that they've just gone there for the money. And of course, the success, they want to win Premier League titles, FA Cups, Carabao Cups, Champions Leagues. And I do respect that, because that's every footballer's dream in club competitions. They want to win the leagues, they want to win all the cups, but like it will test a lot of loyalties. And for me, it will test Pep Guardiola's loyalty as well, because
Guardiola's out. He's gone.
There are a lot of people that don't actually think Pep Guardiola is a good manager because he's gone to clubs that have had money. Put him in a club like Leeds or a club that doesn't have as much money as someone like Man City or Chelsea, Man United.
Didn't I say that like for years? Bear in mind, he went to... He was at Barcelona, did a fantastic job there. But look at the players he had. Then he went to Bayern Munich. Look at the players he had in a one-horse race.
What I'm trying to say.
And then he could have gone to Manchester United, who we were struggling like crazy without Ferguson. And he was like, you know what? City got more money. They've just won the league. Let me take them over.
Yeah, no, that's what I agree. Like, he's gone to a club with a lot of money who, obviously he's got clubs that have got money. Obviously, Barcelona, they're in a state still right now, whether we all know what's happening at Barcelona, but it would test, like, if Pep Guardiola did leave, where could he go? Could he go to Could he go to PSG? Could he go manage Spain? Like, for me, I'd like to see him manage Spain, because that's a country that's got no money. You just got to bring in players from.
The problem is, though, if he goes to Spain, well, like, do you mean the national team or the actual
national team?
Why would he do that?
Well, it'd be a test, because he can't spend money as national coach, can he?
But national football isn't really as good as club football, or is not as competitive. Like, just bear in mind, like I said to you in the previous weeks, compare Man City's team now to the team that won the Argentina team that won the World Cup. Who'd win in a match against each other?
I think we've found that out, haven't we? I think most of the Premier League players that were in that Argentina squad haven't performed very well at all since the World Cup.
No, I'd say Alvarez has. Alvarez Man City. I think he's had a couple. I think Martinez has for Man United. He's had a good few games since he's come back. Although he didn't play that.
He's brilliant all season.
He didn't play that much in the World Cup. Let's be fair. He was on the bench a lot. So do take that into consideration.
Which was stupid.
Yeah, because he is a world-class centre-back, and I think he's definitely, for me, he's been the transfer of the season for me. transfer.
Actually, I'd say Casemiro.
No, I say
Martinez and Casemiro. Think about the impact both of them have made.
Yeah, Casemiro's had a very good impact. You know.
Oh yeah, by choking people, yeah, and strangling people. So yeah, but yeah. But no, for me, I didn't know it would test Pep Guardiola's, but obviously Pep Guardiola probably will leave and he'll get another job. But it would test if he went to another club with no money, because let's be honest, a lot of people don't rate him as a manager because he's gone to clubs that have got money.
I mean,
and so a lot of people don't rate him as a manager. Yeah, he's good tactics wise. He's not an idiot, Pep Guardiola. He's a good tactic manager and stuff, but can he do it with a club that's got no money? The question remains to be seen Monday.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Out of the managers I've seen, I've got to say, so far, the one that's got to be the best one, it's got to be Arteta, like out of him and Guardiola. Because Arteta's taken a team from absolutely nothing, bunch of players who we thought were absolutely useless. Like Ben White was awful. Aaron Ramsdale was awful. Like 2 or 3 relegations on the bounce of every club he's been at.
Oh yeah,
he was on track to be the next Roger Johnson, like the relegator.
I do agree. Like, obviously, I'm not saying that. I'm saying obviously Arteta learned from Pep Guardiola at Man City because Arteta was Pep's number 2. Company is doing a brilliant job at Burnley. He's learned from Guardiola, and Xavi's doing a good job at Barcelona. He's learned from Guardiola. I'm not saying Guardiola I'm not saying he's a rubbish manager, but he's taught people well. But it'll be interesting to see him join a club with no money or with a certain set amount of budget.
True, but you know what's funny, right? Guardiola has never won the Champions League without Messi.
He's not won the Champions League at all.
Didn't he win it at Bayern Munich?
Nope. Bayern Munich won the treble the month or 2 before Guardiola was meant to join. Because it was 4 months before they won the Champions League, Guardiola agreed to take over at the end of the season.
Oh.
Munich won the treble. Then after that, they didn't win the Champions League at all.
Well, there was a rumour coming out when he first joined Man City. He went to the training ground. He went to the training locker room and he asked if Messi was there. And then everyone went, no. The player said no. And he went, if there's no Messi here, no one should talk. So it proves, obviously, Messi was his boy. But at the end of the day, we don't know. We'll know in a few weeks. At the end of the day, Guardiola will take over and will be on charge on Sunday. Whether that's his last game, no one knows.
His last game at all.
I think if they get like a massive point deduction, actually no, if they get relegated, I think he'll see the season out, then he'll bugger off. He'll try to win the Champions League to be like a final, like excuse my language, a final fuck you to like FIFA, and then he'll bugger off to wherever can pay enough. I mean, he won't go to PSG because of their financial issues. Like, bear in mind. We're not financial issues, but financial scandals and stuff. So he won't be going PSG, even though that would be the main place I would say he would go. But maybe because they're going through a scandal as well, he'll be going from one scandal to another.
Maybe you can go to Serie A.
Yeah, but who's he going to go to? Juventus are going for a scandal. Roma have got Mourinho, who will probably come back to the Premier League soon enough because he'll probably want to manage Newcastle if Eddie Howe doesn't work out. Because I still think Mourinho will take over Newcastle one day because of the whole Bobby Robson thing. That connection there.
I don't know what. I don't know. Obviously, he can go to Inter Milan, but they've got a lot of money problems right now. That's why Antonio Conte left, because they've got a lot of money problems.
Mm-hmm. And then you've got AC Milan, who, they're doing better. But would you really say they've got the finances to challenge for the Champions League or the ability to challenge?
That's why
teams
won it.
That's the thing.
Lack of investment. I mean, they've still got Romelu Lukaku at Inter Milan, which is like, you may as well put a lamppost up front. But if we...
No offense, Nathan.
Oh no, it just didn't work out at Chelsea, but it is what it is. He'll be gone in the summer. Chelsea need to make money anyway.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's a stupid move by Chelsea if they get rid of him, because he is the goal scorer that you need. But the problem is, though, like we've said countless times when it comes to Chelsea strikers, Chelsea never adapt to a striker They played their way of football, not the strikers' way of football.
And that's the thing. And then we got Christopher Nkunku coming and joining in the summer. He's a striker. Are we going to play around him? The last player we signed from Leipzig didn't work out. So I don't know what's going to happen to Chelsea with Nkunku next season. But that'll be an interesting fact for next season. But no, we haven't had a world-class striker since your Zolas, your Vialis, your Drogbas, your Diego Costas. They were all our strikers that were very good strikers. But we haven't had a good striker since Costa, to be honest.
I will completely disagree with that. You've had countless good strikers. But the problem is, though, like we just said, Chelsea don't play to strikers' strengths.
Don't know what'll happen. We'll see what happens with Nkunku in the summer. We'll see what happens next season.
You'll probably send him back on loan, or you'll sell him back to them in like a year or two.
Probably.
Or send him on loan with an option to buy.
Like we did with Werner. Sold him after 2 seasons. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Or you do what we do with Lukaku.
What? Just sell him?
I don't know.
Send him on loan with an option to buy. Or is it an obligation to buy?
It's either an option or an obligation, isn't there?
Yeah.
So if we just run down the results of the past weekend. So last Friday, Fulham A, it was against Fulham B. It was a 0-0 draw.
Quite a boring match from what I heard.
Apparently Enzo Fernandez had quite a good game, but no one could break each other.
Yeah, he did. He did have a good game.
Newcastle drew with West Ham. Liverpool, what's going on there? Do you think Klopp's going to go at the end of the season?
No.
I think he's going through the same thing he went through at Borussia Dortmund before he left. Like, where everything's just going tits up for him. The thing he should do now is bail. He's got to bail out of there.
The thing is, there was an article that came out the other day where the people that were there, like the directors and all that, and some of his backroom staff were there when he joined. Now they left at the end of last season. He's kind of lost that. So I think he'll stay. I don't think he'll get sacked because I think he's Liverpool's best ever manager.
Big call.
That's honestly my opinion. I think he is. I think he's won every single trophy at Liverpool. He's won everything there. You just can't fault that as the man. But
has he?
Liverpool
has he won everything?
Yeah, he's won every single cup. Super Cup, Club World Cup, Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Community Shield.
It is the Carabao, isn't it? Yeah, I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, he's won every single trophy in England and the Club World Cup and the Super Cup with, obviously, the competition, and he's won the Champions League. Obviously, besides the Europa League, so he hasn't actually won everything. He's won every major trophy that you could win. But he will be there next season. Liverpool will get rid of a lot of players. But at the same time, Liverpool need to be bought. Everyone's forgetting that Liverpool are still up for sale.
I mean, to be fair, they didn't really... The problem is with Liverpool is when they got rid of Sadio Mane, it just all went completely wrong. Sadio Mane was that driving force who will work his socks off.
They should have cashed in on Salah.
I agree.
Just get rid of Salah.
I agree.
Honestly,
I've been saying that for months as well.
Get rid of. Look at Salah this season. He's underperforming. Liverpool are just a mess. Like Alisson's not looking the goalkeeper he was when he joined. Alisson looks like a year 11 goalkeeper.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, Van Dijk is just not looking very good at the moment.
He's injured though. Don't forget.
He's been injured.
He's always bloody injured.
Isn't he? So Everton beating Arsenal was like the new manager bounce for Sean Dyche, wasn't it? Leicester beat Aston Villa 4-2. Brentford beating Southampton 3-0. Sorry.
I think Nathan Jones is on his way out. Personally, myself.
The fans don't want him, but he got the dreaded vote of confidence last night from the board. So we'll see what happens. Brighton beat Bournemouth as expected, and then Man United and Palace was quite a good game actually, with one main talking point. Chris, we spoke a little bit about this before we started recording and even streaming. Casemiro, it's in my opinion he should have been sent off. It should stand.
What's this?
No, he didn't. No,
this is called a collar.
Look at the other.
This is called a collar,
right? Look at the other angles.
Look at all the other angles, and you'll see he grabbed his collar.
No,
grabbed his collar,
But he's
grabbed his
like
collar.
that. You don't grab. If you're gonna calm someone down, you don't even grab their collar because it's gonna incite them even more.
He's Brazilian. What do you expect?
Well,
They're weird.
He had Will Hughes round the neck.
Just to point out, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad it's not me and Chris arguing this week. I'm enjoying this. Please, let me just get some popcorn here, please. Guys, can I have some popcorn, please?
And before someone actually hears,
please carry on.
It as well. But yeah.
I said to go, if you get popcorn, I'm going to slap you.
It should stand.
But no. Right, get the pictures up on screen. Get the pictures up on screen from all the angles, and you'll see he grabbed his collar.
It's a red card.
It's not a red card.
He went for his
but
neck
to be fair,
area. It's a red card. There is a
oh,
steal.
like a Palace player was doing the exact same thing at the exact same time.
Whoever it was in the face. I actually
exactly.
Well, as a Palace fan, no. As a Palace fan, I hope he gets suspended for that because then we won't have to fucking play the shitter. But sorry.
Language.
Did you just say language?
Nathan.
Yes.
But yeah.
But carry on arguing, guys. So personally,
it's a stonewall red card, and I think it should be upheld. No.
Yeah, you should have got a red card, not Casemiro. He was cuddling his collar.
No.
To be fair, though, it wasn't a red card. I mean, he didn't grab him around the neck. I mean, he literally was calming, just trying to calm the situation down. Yes, he was an idiot for grabbing him there, stupidly. You can't grab someone there, which I completely understand. But a little talking to, like, look, don't be a fucking idiot. Don't grab him by the collar. If you do it again, it's going to be a send off. But it's like, even when the referee pulled him out, he was like, wait, what? Me?
Well, it still is a red card. He's got his hand round his neck. Let me have a look at all the angles again, right?
Post the angles on the video.
This is just
brilliant. Google them, right? Right, there is one. There is one. I am telling you.
If you want to see him, put a W in the chat.
Right? It's from the Sun, if it loads.
Oh, from the Sun, the most reliable of sources.
Right, tell me,
this is brilliant.
Nathan, I'll take a picture of it on my phone, right? Tell me, Nathan, in the group chat. Put it
on the video.
Right, what is Casemiro doing there? Right? He has got... I might actually save that and put it in the video. Right?
You can see he's grabbing his collar.
It does look like he has his hand on his neck.
It doesn't look like he's got his hand
on his neck.
If you look closely...
If you look closely, you can see that his shirt's lifted up.
His shirt is lifted up.
For me, I'm just enjoying you two arguing
with his hands.
Oh yeah, he took an inch of a shot with his hands, like this.
His hands are around his neck then.
But to be honest,
so it might be around it, but he wasn't trying to choke him.
At the end of the day, Man United haven't appealed for it because they know if they appeal and they're found guilty, they get
he misses the cup final.
So they've done the smart thing by just letting him go.
Yeah,
it's a headache for him because he's lost Eriksen till April.
Yeah.
He's lost Casemiro for 3 games, and let's be honest, Man United are playing tonight, so that's a crucial game. And then,
to be fair, we got Leeds twice and Leicester once. So, like, I'm not taking it for granted, but it could have been worse timing.
Oh yeah, it could have been. He could have been sent off tonight, and he would have missed the Carabao Cup final. So I didn't know he's going to be in that starting 11 on Sunday the 26th against Newcastle. So he'll just keep training, keep fit.
Are we going to the pub for that then?
I won't be, no. But
you disgust me.
It's just
Hey, what are you doing on the 26th?
I have plans.
No, you don't. You lying git.
I do, and plus not being ruined my birthday the day after, I don't really want to see Man United lift the cup the day before my birthday with the worst birthday present ever.
So what, we could go for a drink on your birthday and you're saying no?
We'll sort something out soon. But yeah, it's
I thought you have plans.
But it's just obviously, it's just I didn't they're gonna just it's too late now. I didn't they know he shouldn't be putting hands on him, whether he was trying to calm the situation down or not. there is other ways to calm down the situation in football, and he is a silly Billy for doing it because let's be honest. Well, I could say a lot not ruder words, but let's be honest here. I will probably get complaints.
He's Brazilian. He's allowed to grab you by the collar.
So does that mean?
He was trying to see what size shirt he was wearing.
Some of the material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just got a thing for not liking Palace. He got a yellow card. He got a yellow card against Palace at Selhurst Park, and then he gets sent off. What's going to happen next season? He's going to break someone's leg.
Or kung fu kick someone in the crowd. I don't know. Yeah.
He'll do the can. No, he'll do the can.
I mean, Palace fans do deserve that. To be fair.
Let me tell you this: Man United fans are like rats. You know, never more than 4 meters away from one of the bastards. Anyway, moving on. Right. So let's look ahead to this weekend. We've got tonight at 8 o'clock kickoff in just under an hour. We've got Man United against the managerless Leeds United, who sacked Yank Lampard last night. Jesse Marsch apparently is already in line to take over the national squad of USA. I don't know why, but he's under the Red Bull program, isn't he? So
no, I'm going to call it right now. Jesse Marsch to be the next Man City manager.
Nathan, whatever you're taking, mate, please share it.
He said Will Bowley then. On Saturday, the early kickoff is a London derby, West Ham versus Chelsea. That for Chelsea is a must-win game, right? Yeah.
Oh, Chelsea have to win. There's no excuse. I'm sorry, but if Chelsea...
West Ham versus... Do you mean Fulham B?
It's a must-win game for both teams, really, because West Ham are in 16th.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. But Chelsea have to win. Chelsea have a jump up the places, but whether they will or not, I don't know. I just want.
West
Ham want the season to be over. To be honest,
battle come the end of the season. Then you've got Arsenal, Brentford. Then you've got Fulham, Forest. Leicester v Spurs. I can't see anything but a Spurs win there. Southampton v Wolves. Now that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I could see that being a ball draw, to be honest. Bournemouth versus Newcastle. And the big one, Palace v Brighton. We're going to get spanked. We're going to get spanked. No.
So wait, are you gonna wear the Brighton shirt then, or is that the end of the season?
Because Brighton don't like fatties.
Actually.
I keep telling you.
We told you we can come to it. We can sort something out.
A blue shirt or something.
No, Will's going to go buy you a Brighton shirt somehow. Nathan, me and you need to actually fully discuss this as well.
Yeah.
That's one of my ideas. To be fair, we're going to get some. I've got some elastic here, so we can use it to sort of stretch it around you.
I don't know, because Brighton against Palace is really, really tight, and it's at Selhurst Park as well.
Oh, you should definitely go to the game dressed in a Brighton shirt.
That's it. The Palace end.
No, I don't want to
literally.
On Sunday we have Leeds versus Man United, and then we have Man City v Villa, and then on Monday it's the Merseyside derby. Wow, that's going to be a game, isn't it? That is going to be a game. The next Wednesday is Arsenal Man City,
and
Ooh, I reckon Palace and Brighton will be a draw.
Arsenal
or Brighton will nick it.
We'll see what happens on Saturday.
Why did you let it bounce? Sorry.
We'll see what happens over the weekend, David.
To be fair, I do hope Brighton win that one, because it'll be quite, not in a rude way, but it'll be quite good to see Brighton in Europe.
You're giving me extra.
Sorry, 1 second.
Nathan.
You know you could have just said that, right?
If we look at the table quickly, you twat. If we look at the table quickly, We've got Arsenal at the top with 50 points. Man City with 45 points. In third, we've got Man United on 42. Newcastle on 40. And Spurs bringing up the rear there. In fifth, below them, Brighton, Brentford, Fulham A, Fulham B, Liverpool. I mean...
And just to be clear, Man United fans, I don't mean to take your confidence, but don't worry. Even though Casemiro is suspended, you still got two amazing players, Roy McTominay and Fred Scholes.
McTominay is injured, you idiot.
Oh, Fred Scholes and Paulo Maguire.
I'm going to slap you in your big-ass forehead next time I see you.
Did you need to type that to me, Nathan? So, he's now giving me pointers. So, what we're going to... One other story that dropped. It's quite a sensitive subject. Because it is to do with Man United, and they're always sensitive about everything. Just look at Mark Goldbridge. Who?
Look at Cologne.
Yeah.
Look at the Chris Cologne.
Chris Murphy.
He's very sensitive.
Do you mean Murphy?
So being serious for a
Do you mean
moment,
Murphy?
Chris Murphy.
No copyright on there, please, Lance Storm. Mason Greenwood was released from prison. Well, he wasn't in prison, was he? He had all charges against him dropped. There is still the evidence out there, and they say 2% of all rape cases actually get a conviction. It's a sensitive subject. I know we've addressed it before on this podcast. Chris, as a Man United fan, do you think you should be allowed to play for Man United again or play football at all?
I mean, you should be allowed to play football again, but because to be fair, yes, what he done was absolutely horrific, but exactly. But I don't want to see him in a United shirt. I mean, as much as a good prospect he was, like the team don't feel comfortable with him playing. They don't want him in the dressing room, disturbing them, knowing the fact that he's going to cause so much drama. Like, if he wants to go elsewhere, then let him. Like, I would terminate his contract, make an agreement, say you're going to get paid this much, end your contract, go to Chelsea because they'll probably pay your wages and they'll play you because they seem to be paying everyone's wages now. But no, it's a shame though because he had such potential. But I would not like to see him in a United shirt again.
Sorry, carry on, Chris.
Like,
for me, you can carry on, Chris. Sorry.
No, go on.
For me, it is a shame, but it is a shame because he was such a humongous talent. He done well under Ole, and he is a really
Ole
Gunnar Solskjaer, whatever yeah. But he it's a real shame because he was actually getting compared to like Robin van Persie at one point with the way he finishes, the way he plays, and he was an out-and-out striker. He was he
was right and left-footed, could run with the ball, and could shoot from anywhere.
And he could shoot from anywhere, and he could have been the answer to the striker problem. Maybe no one knew if he still played. At the end of the day, there are like a lot of these young players these days. They don't get guided a lot by the manager. Like the manager doesn't explain to them, like, look, you might be 17 years old and you're on the scene. Yes, you're a good player, but don't let it get to your head. And Mason Greenwood let it get to his head with the fame, the money, the England call up. Everything got to his head. He got too famous too quickly, in a way. Even though he is a good player, but he got too famous too quickly. And it got to his head because you're playing for Manchester United. You're playing for one of the most successful clubs, not just in the world, in England. You're playing
in the world.
No, Liverpool are more successful than you. They've got one more trophy than you.
No, we're tied.
No, you've got one more. They've got one more trophy than you.
They strip them.
No, they don't.
They do.
Then Man United will be far ahead.
Yeah, but
because you do know, we've got more trophies than them.
I think I've heard it was actually Liverpool by one more.
You heard that from who? A Liverpool fan?
No,
Reese.
Actually, another Man United fan. But as far as the point, I actually think. Do I think Mason Greenwood should play football again? Yes.
Wow.
I do think he doesn't earn a chance because there are. I'm just touching. I think Adam Johnson. Adam Johnson still.
No,
plays
he's been
football.
released. He's on the
No, Adam Johnson's still in prison, isn't he?
He's on tag.
Oh, he's still.
But a big example. A big example.
But
like,
obviously Joey Barton
and then come out and play football again is Ched Evans. I remember the furore.
I was just about to say that as well,
Nathan.
I
remember the furore that was around him at the time because there were a load of female Sky Sports presenters coming out and saying it's disgusting, this, that, and the other, that he's been allowed to play football again. Yeah.
But didn't that come out like a couple of years later, where after he served his time, the girls sort of came out and sort of said, like, yeah. So it's like,
but didn't that Man City player Mendy? He got found guilty of rape and that as well.
I think that's still ongoing though.
But I do think
there was a few dodgy things around that. I think the witnesses were a bit dodgy.
To be honest, you know what I actually think should happen? I think with Mason Greenwood, he should be playing football again because he is a talented footballer. I do believe he would have kept his fitness up wherever he was. Because let's be honest, he's gonna. At the end, if he was found not guilty, his fitness will still be there. But I actually think personally, when Man United's new owners do come in, when they do take over, they need to review Mason Greenwood because he's still under contract at Man United. I think
they're doing that currently. They're literally.
I think it should be left. I think the fans should actually get a say whether Mason Greenwood wears a Man United shirt again. I think
it should be the manager because the manager's the one who decides the team. The manager's the one who controls the dressing room. If Ten
Hag says, I want to play him, but the fans don't want him, what are you going to do then?
I won't agree with it, but it's Ten Hag's decision. I mean, bear in mind, look at all the Ten Hag's decisions right now to this point.
Oh, yeah, no, I like Mason.
I back Ten Hag. Like, whatever he decides, I'll back him. If he decides to play Greenwood, I won't like it, but I'll back Ten Hag. I won't support Mason Greenwood.
Would you love it if Mason Greenwood would play for you again and he scores the last-minute winner for you in the Champions League final?
Oh, absolutely. But it doesn't mean I will support Mason Greenwood as a person. I will support the club and I'll support Ten Hag in his decision.
Well,
but doesn't mean I agree with his decision.
To be honest,
out there of him and his partner at the time.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah,
you know, it's a very sensitive subject, and now that the police investigation is done with, Man United as a company they now have to do their internal investigation. They'll look at everything. They'll look at the evidence that's there. I personally think they'll release him from his contract. There is no way he can still play for them at a team of that stature without having to, he might go to another club. We'll see what happens. But do you not think as you can see here, I'm a Marvel fan, and at the moment the multiverse storyline is going on. In another universe, if Mason Greenwood is still in the Man United team for the last couple of years, do you not think that Marcus Rashford would probably have been sold?
With how Marcus Rashford was last season, possibly, yes, because his form was terrible last season.
Yeah, they were trying to sell him last season. I think at the beginning of this season, PSG, for they wanted 100 million, but PSG wanted to pay 50 or less.
To be honest, I do think that if Mason Greenwood hadn't have done what he done, what would happen to Rashford? But you can't. At the end of the day, Rashford is a winger. He's not a striker. It's been proven before. So it would be interesting. At the end of the day, Man United have done a statement about it. They have released a statement saying they have to do their own investigation into it because they have. What's the matter, Jason? Yeah, so they have done a statement, but it is obviously a very touchy subject, and obviously, I'm sure Ten Hag and Mason Greenwood would have spoken personally behind closed
there would
doors.
be a lot of implications to it, but I don't think that Anthony would have come to Man United had Mason Greenwood still be there. I think absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, Jaybur.
True. I think we would have prioritised another target.
But yeah, that's it. But what do you think in the comments down below, guys? If you're enjoying, no, please.
I've got one chant, but it's inappropriate.
Is it Mason Greenwood chant?
Yeah, it is.
I'll do one about Lewis Dunk instead. She said no, Lewis. She said no. Anyway, she said no to biscuits, which I wouldn't ever do, by the way. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content around here, please consider giving this video a like,